What's up, everyone? I'm doing a little bit of a response video today. Um, Recently, I just watched a video from UltimateFloyd doing his most overrated movies, and that got me thinking. There's a few movies I have, and some I don't have for obvious reasons because I didn't really enjoy them. But I wanted to do five movies that I thought were overrated because they tend to get praise on a small or big level that I just didn't really understand. um, Not to say I totally hate all these movies, but I just didn't enjoy them as much as people seem to. Mind you, also, I don't have as much time to watch movies, and I didn't rewatch these movies for the purpose of this video. This is kind of just off the cuff. So if it doesn't seem very eloquent, that's why, because I don't have the best way with words. But I wanted to say my piece on some movies that I thought weren't the bee's knees, so to speak. And I'm trying to remember some stuff about the movies, but I just remember they didn't leave the greatest taste in my mouth. Anyways, I'm going to start with movies I don't have. First, I want to talk about The Breakfast Club. Now, The Breakfast Club is a movie that many people my age and older, mostly probably I assume for maybe nostalgia reasons, think it's a very great movie, speaking of how it is to be younger and how all John Hughes movies are. I hate The Breakfast Club, and I think one of the big reasons why I hate The Breakfast Club is because of the way the actors portray high school students. A lot of movies, the way they portray high schoolers, especially now, just irritates the hell out of me. Maybe that's how it is for teenagers. I feel like some of us being older, we just look at things that teenagers do and we're just like, you're just so naive and whatnot. But the way they act in The Breakfast Club is just so irritating. The way they talk, and each character has their own problems deep down, and I just don't get it. It just pissed me off, and it just irritated me, and I've only seen it once. I never want to watch it again, and it's just one of those movies it just irritated me the whole time. Maybe that's just me. I assume that's just me. I haven't really come across a lot of people who don't like The Breakfast Club, but I sincerely do not like that movie. So yeah. Next, a movie that a lot of people I know personally is Training Day. I don't hate it, but I don't really like it. I don't really see the appeal of it. It's just another cop movie. Denzel Washington, he's a cop, but he's a corrupted cop. Maybe I'm not the biggest fan of police-focused movies. Not like I have a problem with the police, but I like movies with, some twists or some unexpected things or a lot of tense action. And Training Day has action, and it can be tense because Denzel Washington can be pretty intense in the movie, but it's not really exciting to me. It's not really interesting. It's just, hey, I'm a cop and I like to do shit I shouldn't do, and then at the end he's just crazy and he needs to be stopped. Movies with police focused stuff that I enjoy is like The Departed, stuff like that. Like, it just is more interesting to me. It's more in depth, and I don't know. Training Day is just not a movie that I could enjoy at all, and Ethan Hawke's character just seemed pretty flat to me in the movie. I believe that's who the main character was, but I mean, Denzel Washington was decent in it, so I could say that, but other than that, not a fan of Training Day. Third movie that I want to talk about is A Serious Man, and I had high expectations for that movie. I really enjoy Coen Brothers movies, and I didn't hate the movie, but I just feel like it was kind of stale. It was kind of boring. I haven't watched it since it came out, so a lot of it is just based on feelings that I know I had after watching it, because I don't remember a ton of it, but I just felt like it wasn't as exciting as other Coen Brothers movies. I felt like what humor was in it was, I enjoy dry humor a lot, but it was just too dry for me, like almost to the point of non-existent. And I really enjoy movies where the character is just constantly getting fucked over through the entire movie. I like movies like that. They entertain me, and I find the humor in it. And a lot of that stuff I enjoyed in the movie, but it's kind of stale for the most part. And the ending at the time just confused me. It was kind of just like the ultimate fuck over, and it had some more significant meaning, but I just didn't even take the time to really try and go in depth as to what the whole ending meant, and it kind of just left me feeling unfulfilled at the end. So it is a movie I'd like to go back to. I only saw it maybe once or twice, and it's been a really long time since I've seen it, but I just remember being underwhelmed by it when I had a lot of expectation. Maybe that's why I don't like it as much, because it did get nominated for Best Picture at the time, and I just kind of felt like maybe it shouldn't have. And speaking of Best Picture, and I do have this movie, I forgot to add it because I'm going to talk about it now, A Slumdog Millionaire. Now, I don't hate A Slumdog Millionaire, but it's just super cliche to me. Just guy loves girl, I'm going to rescue her, and here's my hardships when I lived in, I think it was India or whatever. It wasn't terrible, but I don't see why it won Best Picture at all. I don't remember what movies were nominated at the same time, but I'm almost positive whatever other movies, there's at least a few that should have won over that, even though most years I feel like that's the case, that another movie should have won anyways. And half the movies that are nominated I don't get anyways. And I don't see most of them now anyways either. But Slumdog Millionaire, for it winning Best Picture that year, I definitely do not think that should have happened at all. So, the last two movies I'm going to talk about is The Darjeeling Limited. Now, I know a lot of people give Wes Anderson shit. He has an extremely stylized way to his movies, and the characters are just very kind of out there, almost cartoony. I like a lot of Wes Anderson's movies. I like Rushmore and Royal Tenenbaums and Life Aquatic and Fantastic Mr. Fox. And I didn't see Grand Budapest Hotel. It actually was kind of boring when I was watching it, and I fell asleep, so I never went back to it. But this movie, a good amount of people enjoy this movie, and I thought it was boring. My favorite part was honestly in the beginning when Bill Murray misses the train. I thought that was funny, but the rest of it just seems like a road trip where these three brothers are trying to come to some spiritual understanding, and it's just boring. I mean, it's not very funny. It's just these quirky little things happen through the movie, and it's like Wes Anderson's style, but in a way I don't find appealing. Maybe this is how people feel about most of his movies. I don't feel that way about the rest of his movies, but this movie just fell flat for me, and I did not enjoy it. And then this movie, which I find very overrated, I enjoy it a little bit, but just like The Breakfast Club, the way the characters act in this movie, specifically Ellen Page, just irritates the shit out of me, and that's Juno. Quirky movie, of course everyone's gonna love, because it's about teen pregnancy, and Ellen Page is quirky, and Michael Cera is quirky, and blah 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 blah. The way Ellen Page talks in this fucking movie is so fucking irritating, with all of her 80s pop culture references, and I don't know, it's just so, it tries to be like pretentious, but it's not. It just comes across as annoying to me. I don't know. This movie, I enjoyed it a little bit for whatever reason, but most people love this movie, and I can only watch it like once in a while. I haven't seen it in forever, but it's just one of those movies that I just don't get why people enjoy so much. Maybe it's because it's a different style, like how people love Garden State and I don't know, those kind of artsy independent movies that aren't really independent movies. So, anyways, those are the movies that I feel like were very overrated. I just kind of wanted to say, you know, some movies I thought were overrated too, because I really enjoyed Ultimate Floyd's video. So, I'll put a link if you've never watched Ultimate Floyd, watch him. He's got a lot of good things to say about movies and video games and whatnot. So anyways, take care guys, later.